Okay, hello dear friends, it's this season again, so some trigonometry, and I'm very happy I have something to do. Verify each identity. First problem, secant x over sine x minus sine x over cosine x equal to cotangent x. So first, forget about the left side. From left side, we will copy it. Secant x over sine x minus sine x over cosine x equal to, secant is the reciprocal of cosine x times sine x, copy it, sine x minus sine x over cosine x. This one we copy it, so the fraction, find the common denominator, cosine x sine x 1 minus cosine x sine x times sine x. On the bottom, we times sine x. On the top, we need to times sine x. So equal to cosine x sine x, denominator 1 minus sine square x. 1 minus sine square x equal to cosine square x, because sine square plus cosine square equals to 1 over cosine x times sine x, right? So 2 times cosine x, so cross cancel, equal to cosine x over sine x equal to cotangent x. This is on the left side. On the right side, it's the same. So write cotangent x. So the identity equals. So this identity established. Question number 2. One plus tangent x over 1 plus cotangent x equal to tangent x. So this way we can do 2 methods. The first method, let's do left. We make into sine, cosine, left. So 1 plus sine over cosine, 1 plus cosine over sine x equal to, so we find the common denominator on the numerator, so it's a cosine x over cosine x plus sine x, right? And the denominator is a sine x over sine x plus cosine x. And we can cross cancel the upper part, the numerator of this, and becomes, and this one we need to flip it up. So it becomes sine x over cosine x. Do I make it too fast? So maybe we can do this. So we cross cancel with our glitter pen. Find the glitter pen. Oh, I didn't find the glitter pen, but I will use a different color. So this and this can be cross cancelled. So 1 over cosine x, 1 over sine x. So the sine x will flip up, become sine x over cosine x, which is tangent x. So I think this is sufficient. We will do it up to here. That is good enough. Okay. And another method, you make everything into a tangent. Let's do it. Yeah. So this identity establish because on the left and on the right is tangent x. Okay, another method. I'll use this paper. 1 plus tangent x over 1 plus cotangent x equal to tangent x. We need to prove if it is right. So on the left, we can do 1 plus tangent x, 1 plus 1 over tangent x, because tangent and cotangent x is a reciprocal, right? So equal to 1 plus tangent x over tangent x, 1 plus 1. And this we can cross cancel. So it becomes 1 over tangent x, which flip it up becomes tangent x. So on the left side is tangent x, on the right side is tangent x. So this identity established. Oh! Okay, number 3. Can you see it? Maybe because secant x minus 1 over secant x plus 1 plus cosine x minus 1 cosine x plus 1 equal to 0. That is strange. Okay, let's do it. So because there is cosine, so we move everything into cosine. So secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So on the left, we copy it. Secant x minus 1 over secant x plus 1 plus cosine x minus 1 cosine x plus 1 equal to secant is 1 over cosine x minus 1. Secant is 1 over cosine x plus 1 plus cosine x minus 1 cosine x plus 1. So we find the common denominator is cosine x, 1 minus cosine x, and on the bottom is the new denominator is cosine x, and 1 plus cosine x plus cosine x minus 1 cosine x plus 1. So we can cross cancel the denominator, and these are the numerators, so leave it on the top. So become 1 minus cosine x 1 plus cosine x plus cosine x minus 1 cosine x plus 1. So the denominator is the same and the numerator is just the opposite, so equal to 0. And on the right, equal to 0. So this identity established. Oh! Okay, I will recopy it. Question number 4, sine square x minus sine square y equal to sine x plus y times sine x minus y. So how do we prove it? So on the left side seems simpler, so I will work on the right side. So on the right side, first I copy it, sine x plus y times sine x minus y equal to what? Sine x cosine y plus sine y cosine x. So the first, use 夹角定理. So the trigonometry, the sum of angle times sine x cosine y minus sine y cosine x. Ooh, that looks something similar. So this one is a plus 1, a minus 1. So it becomes sine square x cosine square y minus sine square y cosine square x. Up to now, what we are seeing, on the left side, there is only sine. On the right side, there's sine and cosine. Get rid of the cosine because cosine and sine, there is a transformation, right? So sine square x, we copy the first one. Cosine square y becomes 1 minus sine square x, sine square y. Make sense? Okay, so on here, minus sine square y, we copy it. And cosine, we write it 1 minus sine square x. Right? So now we can open it up. Sine square x minus sine square x sine square y minus sine square y plus negative make it positive, sine square y sine square x. So negative sine square x sine square y, positive sine square x sine square y. Cancel out. Use my red pen. So it becomes sine square x minus sine square y, the leftover. So we get it, sine square x minus sine square y from the right side. Now let's come back to see the left side. Sine square x minus sine square y. Haha, equal again. We made it. So the identity exists, established. Thank you very, very much. Oh! Okay, hello dear friends. Question number 5. Cosine 2a over 1 plus sine 2a equal to cotangent a minus 1 over cotangent a plus 1. So when we see this kind of problem, it's quite complicated. On the left side, there is 2a, the double angle. And on the right side, there is a cotangent. And so it's hard to know where to start. But when I see this kind of problem, this is cotangent, move back into sine, cosine, and express cotangent, tangent, or cotangent with sine, cosine. And this 2a, we can open it up later on, use the law of sine on the law of cosine. Okay, so this one we start from right because we want to replace cotangent with sine and cosine. Okay, so copy it. Cotangent a minus 1 over cotangent a plus 1 equal to, cotangent is cosine a over sine a minus 1, cosine a over sine a plus 1, right? So find the common denominator from the big numerator. Sine a cosine a, I didn't change anything, minus sine a. So this is 1, right? So sine a, and here is cosine a plus sine a. Now we see something sweet. Cross cancel, so it becomes cosine a minus sine a over cosine a plus sine a. Up to now, I cannot find any way to go further to here, so we leave it here. And now we go from the left side. So left side, I copy it, cosine left, cosine 2a over 1 plus sine 2a. So cosine 2a is cosine square a minus sine square a, right? This we already know. Now 1 plus 2 sine 2a is 2 sine a cosine a, right? This is the formula for double angle sine, equal to, I see something, cosine square a minus sine square a, right? The upper part we copy it, and the lower part now we can see, because 1 is sine square a plus cosine square a plus 2 sine a cosine a. Now we see this becomes sine a plus cosine a square. Make sense? And on the numerator part, we do not change. We actually change. It becomes cosine a plus sine a times cosine a minus sine a, right? 2 times sine a cosine a square. It's square, and this is only 1 time, first degree, so we can cross cancel 1. So it becomes cosine a minus sine a over, I will write it because it's addition, you can write first cosine or first sine. So on the right side, on the left side, we prove it equals to cosine A minus sine A over cosine A plus sine A. On the right side, we get exactly the same result. So we are right. This identity, the teacher is right. This identity established. Thank you very, very, very much. Oh! Okay, hello dear friends. Question number 6. Tangent theta plus cotangent theta equals 2 cosecant 2 theta. Oh, that's too complicated. Okay, when we see this kind of problem, it's hard to know where to start. How about we change tangent to cotangent, cotangent into sine, cosine, and the cosecant into sine. Okay, let's do it. So we need to do from left and from right until we find a common result. So from left, copy the problem, tangent theta plus cotangent theta equal to sine theta over cosine theta plus cosine theta over sine theta equal to sine theta cosine theta sine square theta plus cosine square theta equal to 1 over, because sine plus cosine square, sine square plus cosine square equal to 1. 1 over sine theta cosine theta. Okay, so we will do up to here and not move it. Let's see what we can do on the right side. Okay, on the right side, right 2 cosecant 2 theta equal to 1 over cosecant is the reciprocal of sine 2 theta, right? So 2 times 1 over sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta, and 2 and 2 we can cross cancel, so it becomes 1 over sine theta times cosine theta. So we get from right, this is our glorious result, and from the left, gosh, what a coincidence! How come we make it right again? So, this identity established. Thank you very, very much.